Hello, good evening, and welcome to our ICT 410 class. So our topic for this evening is about domain name system. So our objectives are as follows. Number one, discuss the importance of domain name system. Number two, value the importance of domain name system. And number three, understand the basic concepts of domain name system. So for DNS, DNS stands for Domain Name System and is the hierarchical and decentralized naming system used to identify computers, services, and other resources reachable through the internet or other internet protocol networks. So the resource records contained in the DNS associate domain names with other forms of information. So these are most commonly used to map human-friendly domain names to the numerical IP addresses computers need to locate services and devices using the underlying network protocols, but have been extended over time to perform many other functions as well. So the domain name system has been an essential component of the functionality of the internet since 1985. So oftentimes, function refers to the often used analogy to explain the DNS is that serves as the phone book for the internet by translating human-friendly computer host names into IP addresses. So like for example, your domain name www.example.com translates to the addresses 93.184.216.34. So this is coined as IPv4, so IP address version 4. And 2606 colon 2800 colon 22 220 colon 1 colon 248 colon 183093, so on and so forth. So this is your IPv6 or the Internet Protocol version 6. So the DNS can be quickly and transparently updated, allowing a service's location to the network to change without affecting the end users who continue to use the same host names. So users take advantage of this when they use meaningful uniform resource locator or URLs and email addresses without having to know how the computer actually locates the service. So going to the domain name syntax and internalization. So a domain name consists of one or more parts, technically called labels, that are conventionally concatenated and delimited by dots. So example natin kagina is www.example.com. So the rightmost label conveys the top level domain. So for example, the domain name www.example.com belongs to the top level domain.com. So the hierarchy of domain descends from left to right. So each label to the left specifies a subdivision or subdomain of the domain to the right. So like for example, the label example specifies the subdomain of the .com domain, and www is the subdomain of example.com. So this tree of subdivisions may have up to 127 levels. So a label may contain 0 to 63 characters, and then the null label of length is 0 is reserved for the root zone. So the full domain name may not exceed the length of 253 characters in its textual representation. And then in the internal binary representation of the DNS or the domain name system, the maximum length requires 255 octets of storage. So it also stores the length of the name. So for your activity number 21, you're going to refer to domain name system, and you're going to show the domain name of your telco or service provider. So what you're going to do is to produce the screenshot and copy paste it to any word processor. So later on, guys, we'll have a demo for this, and stay tuned. Now, another topic is DNS tracing, and DNS tracing is just the function that will trace the DNS delegation for a domain name from the internet DNS root servers down to the DNS servers responsible for the domain. So this can be useful to find out if a domain is delegately correct. So just like the DNS server resolving the domain name, this function will pick DNS servers in random order. So given the example, given that there are multiple choices that you're going to pick. So therefore, results may vary if you do the same trace several times, and different DNS servers have different data for the domain name. So like for example, if the domain name registration has just been updated and the new delegation hasn't reached all the parent level DNS servers yet. If you're going to enter an IP address, like for example, IPv4 or IPv6, so the reverse DNS PTR's record name for the IP address will be traced. So later on, guys, so your activity number 22, it's what you're going to do is to trace for the DNS IP address. So going to the tracing, what you're going to do is to look for the query of the root to find the DNS lookout records. You're going to detail the path taken to retrieve the authoritative DNS server details. So the authoritative DNS servers returns an IP address associated with the requested DNS record. So like for example, you're going to perform a DNS test. You're going to include the time to receive responses from each node along the path, as well as the answers returned from each node. So example, the result header contains general information about the test performed, while the data in the tree shown below contains details about the actual DNS trace. So like for example, ang example natin is www.example.com. So you have the duration for the tracing is 197 milliseconds. The start time is kung ano start time ninyo. And then the IP address is 93.184.216.34 for the IPv4. And then you will be displayed also with the IPv6. So that depends upon the trace. Okay, for your activity number 20, so umuday mo ninyo guys. Okay? You're going to trace any web portal basta sa I will show you how to do this later on. So your code of the day is what convert URLs and domain names into IP addresses that computers can understand and use. So what convert URLs and domain names into IP addresses and that computers can understand and use. So this is our code of the day as well as our topic for this evening. Okay. So ad astra per sapientia, it means to the stars through knowledge. So thank you guys for attending the lecture for this evening. Then what we're going to do is to have the demo for the activity. Okay. So let me present my screen. So ultimately, our first activity will be domain name system. So you're going to tell the domain name of your telco. In our example, my telco is Globe Telecom. So my IP address for the DNS address for the telco for Globe Telecom is 192.168.254.254. So press enter, and it will be directed to the Globe at Home portal. So what we're going to do is to screenshot the main page, okay, on your Microsoft Word or to any word processor. You're going to log in with your account. Of course, the password is hide so that it will not be visible to other users. And then after going to the portal, you can see there of what gigahertz are you using. Is it 2.4 gigahertz or 5.5 gigahertz? So mainly guys, this is not 5G, okay? 5G is different. Yeah, mainly ang 5G nga makita ninyo sa Wi-Fi is just for 5 gigahertz. Okay. So as you can see, the details that I have LTE, Globe LTE. Then there are two devices connected to the network as of now, as of the moment. So basically, guys, what you're going to do is go to the menu and then screenshot. Okay. And that will be your activity number 21. Now for your activity number 22, what you're going to do is you're going to go to google.com, and from Google, you're going to type DNS Trace, then press enter. So you have several tracing portals that you can see here. So like, for example, this one. Okay, we're going to use this. And our example sa dang naton kagina sa lecture is example.com. So you're going to write there www.example.com. So the press enter. Okay, so after searching, this one. So kung makita niyo guys, this is our, you have to produce the screenshot for this, and that will be your activity number 22. So what is displayed here is 93.184.216.34. So this is IBP4, kay apat ang nga subdomains. And then if you want to use other trace tools, so ilantawan nyo lang din, duro da sanda, please display also IPv6. Not only with IPv4 but IPv6. So any portal will do. Bahala ka mo guys kung ano ang gusto niyo i-trace. Ang example ko is example.com. So ang example.com kung lang taon niyo mo dayayaan ng web page. Okay. Na. So example lang siya mo. So example.com. Okay, so I think that is all for this evening, guys. Do you have any questions about our activity and the things that you're going to do with your activity for this week? Okay, so if none, okay. Sige, change na. Oo. Okay. But your attendance is not counted right now. What you're going to do is go to the karon Borbay, the code of the day after this. So now, sige, karon ko lang i-activate, no? Wait lang. So that your attendance will be counted, what you're going to do is to go to your Google Classroom and answer the code of the day. Okay? That will be your grade for your recitation. But anyway, I'm glad that nag-attend ka mo sa sa lecture natin, guys. So
Sir, good evening.
Good evening, good evening.
Din siya, sir, sabang naka-online.
Okay lang to.
Patrick, sir.
Don't forget to guys to answer your to answer the quiz tomorrow. But as of now, please answer the code of the day until 10 p.m. for your recitation. Okay. Nagano team mo dapat?
Test case. Nag-obra sa test case naman, sir.
Okay. Sa thesis niyo. Sige. Okay. So amo man lang da guys, naton. Yeah, activity for this week, and should you have any questions, you can please ask questions sa PM or sa natin. Okay? So the code of the day is individual, and the quiz likewise will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Okay, so last reminder, if you don't have if you didn't have vaccinated yet, please go to the vac center until tomorrow, no? Na pasanda extension. Okay, so thank you guys, and good evening sa tanan. So I hope that you learned something tonight. Gin-demo ko man kung paano nyo brown activity nyo, so better nga. So do you have any questions yet?
Individual. Ano ito, sir? Individual called for the day?
Oo, Pat. Individual na to.
Sige, sir.
Okay, sige. So salamat, Gid, and Liwat, congrats kay James Tom sa pagdaog na sa CSSC elections, no? As CSSC president. Okay, sige guys. No more, so shout out sa tanan ninyo nga, mga dyan sa mga